So The Strays, which is now on Netflix, British horror thriller from actor-turned-director Nathaniel Martello White, making his directorial feature debut, was topping the UK charts when I clicked on to watch it. Ashley Monique is a biracial woman, variously known as Neve or Cheryl. We see her at the beginning of the film walking away from one life. We then pick her up later on, a few years later. She has completely reinvented herself as a different person. Now she's a posh woman in a posh suburb, organising a posh charity event. And a white friend that she's talking to says, "You're practically one of us." She's the deputy head at a posh school where her son is seen talking to a janitor, a young black man who she immediately sees as a potential threat, although you're not entirely sure why. Meanwhile, her daughter befriends a young girl who is similarly seen as an interloper, and all of this causes our anti-heroine to start to crack. The trailer for the film sells it as a kind of mix of the Stepford Wives, the kind of the picket fence, look at this picture, what's wrong with this picture, suburban dream nightmare, and kind of post-Get Out social satire, as I think you can tell from even what I've been setting up there. It's got a brilliant score by Emily Levianes-Farouche, who I love her work. I think she's such an inventive musician. She did Censor, of course, the Prana Bailey Bond film. And the score here really, really kind of gets under the skin of the piece. Great central performance, does a very decent job of keeping us guessing, even when we kind of know underneath what's going on. The way a story can kind of unfold, you sort of know where it's going, but it reveals its information, it sort of parcels it out, bit by bit. I thought it had a properly creepy satirical atmosphere. Personally, I found it much more effective than Don't Worry, Darling, which of course is a similar thing about, what's wrong with this picture. Here is a vision of the perfect world. And yet, of course, we know it's absolutely not perfect. We know it's all based on something hideous, but we're not just quite sure what that something hideous was. And this is, it's about identity and past and social structures and racism and racial tension and, like I said, class and wealth. But basically, it's one of those films like, do you remember in Us, there was the whole thing about what's going on behind the mask, what's going on behind the veneer. And there was that sort of extended metaphor about the people who lived above ground and the people who lived below ground. And the confrontation is that the people living the good life above ground are confronted with the thing that's happened. It's like the ego in the id. We could read it as a sort of psychological thing. It had a touch of that to it. I thought it was well made, and I found it gripping and entertaining.
Where do I see this?
On Netflix.
Thank you very much.
Called The Strays.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.